Mom, I am so sorry about last night, but I want to take this time to tell you that I love you more than anything in the whole wide world.
Why are you having to apologize? What happened?
Oh, you know, I'm having some issues with my testosterone medication and things.
You know, I tell people this all the time. Like, I really think that I could drink if drugs were not available.
So many people, and myself included, will 1, 2, 3, relapse. 1, 2, 3, relapse.
When I was talking to this friend, they were like, does this make me/us addicts?
So it's just the boys today, just us. We're kind of going to let Chris interview us, kind of like we interview other people. You know, I don't know if you know what time it is, but we are, smoking cigars here at 9:30 in the morning. And the reason it's 9:30 and not 9 is because Josh decided to oversleep and then change his calendar invite to 10.
I really didn't do that.
I don't believe it.
Call my wife. She won't lie for me.
So we've had people show up late a lot, so we're used to it. You know who you are.
They're not on the podcast anymore.
Yeah, he's not here on the podcast with us right now.
You draw your own conclusions.
But he was bad for being late. You're just filling in. I love it. So yeah, this is the Altruistic Trudge podcast number 16, I think. We're getting close to that, like staying on track with those numbers. So yeah, Matt, I'm a person in long-term recovery. I'm a dog father, I'm a golfer, fiance. I'm kind of excited to play golf today.
Yeah. I'm less excited after seeing how great your legs look in shorts.
That motherfucker has the legs. He put on a suit. He put on a
you and my best friend and partner, phenomenal fucking legs.
Yeah, but the thing about it is you can't. I like to have tight around my ankle, not up here. I can't take them off.
He put on this tight, slim fit suit.
Almost busted the seams out.
I got a guy for you.
I need something where it's slim around the calves where I can still get them on and off. Because what happens, they raise up, they start when I'm sitting down, and I get out of the car and they're up to here. And I'm like, Jesus Christ.
What about just short pants? Just always let them.
Shorts.
Just let them out. Don't ever cover. Don't put baby in a corner. Don't hide it under a bushel. Just let them go.
Yeah, I feel like they used to be bigger.
Dude, you could do pants and just cut the cap out.
Cut the cap out the back of them.
They used to be bigger before Ozempic.
Yeah, before Ozempic, they were
killed your fucking muscle tone.
Yep. So now I'm on the Retta. Man, I'm gonna blurb that out because I don't think it's FDA approved yet.
Can we get a sponsorship?
Yeah, Retta. It's supposed to help your muscle growth. All right, go ahead, Josh.
Josh, habitually late dog father.
Don't say habitual. You're not late a lot.
No, I am.
Usually
I try not to be late to this.
We're going to work on that. The dress codes definitely started working.
Well, the socks were blue because I was running late. Person in recovery, also a dog father. Unlike him, Matt's a guy that likes one dog, one kid. I have 4 kids. I love each and every one of you, especially you, Emma. You're my favorite. The other ones, man.
You only say that because she's the only one that watches our show.
They all watch it, but she's the only one that watches the whole thing, and she's the only one that actually loves me. And Mom, I am so sorry about last night, but I want to take this time to tell you that I love you more than anything in the whole wide world.
Why are you having to apologize? What happened?
Oh, I'm having some issues with my testosterone medication and things. And I came home at 9:30 last night, and I stepped in dog poop and tracked it through in my driveway. So it's not like I wasn't like
in the yard.
Yeah, just got out to my house, and it's happened about 100 times. My mom has a little dachshund that's, should be in hospice like my father-in-law, and he's not. And she didn't answer when I called her because I just want to say, hey, Mom, this is the 500th time, and I lost my shit. But the thing about it is, my mom does not deserve that whatsoever. And then when I went back to
the dog deserved it.
Fuck that dog.
You should have threw them.
Yeah, yeah. But the thing is, when I went back to apologize, my mom's one of those type of people. Nope. And then we got down some deep rabbit hole of when I was 7 years old and did something wrong, but she can never admit that her part in anything, and she got super deep and cutting wounds. But this morning we talked it out like we always do, Mom. I love you, and I'll step in poop any day. I'm just gonna walk in your house before I walk in my house.
Power play.
Oh, I'm not going to introduce myself that much today because I'm not the important one today. But I was talking to a friend the other day, and this will give me the idea for today's discussion. And they had to go to a conference, and neither one of us like conferences or being in social settings where you have to be on all the time. And the joke was, oh, just one shot of tequila and you'll be good to go. So today's theme is kind of going to be addiction versus coping mechanisms. Yeah, I know, wild for 9:30 in the morning. Imagine if it was 9. So I don't really know how to get into it, but I can start with a little of my personal experiences. Like, I go out a lot for work. I am socially introverted. Like, I always find myself out, but I don't want to be out. And I feel the need to be the person everyone wants to be around. And
While you're out, you're saying like you want to be like the center of attention.
No, I don't want to be, but they expect. I feel like it's expected, and this helps.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
And so
it's definitely a cure for that. That's it.
Yeah, 100%. But then I guess the first opening question is, what makes you different than me?
So for me, alcohol never was really a problem. Something that escalated to the point to where I was sitting in a hotel room, drinking by myself, to an oblivion. But what it did do for me was exactly what it did for you. It made it to where I could go up on stage and sing karaoke, or I wanted to talk to everybody. But the difference in me and you is, that's all you need is just a couple drinks of that. You can kind of loosen up, be, sociable. Me, I want more. Not just of that, like, I want to be able to stay in the scene for the rest of the night.
The rest of the week.
Yeah, for the rest of the week. Then I find somebody with cocaine, and then that's where it starts to escalate. And even still today, like, I tell people this all the time, like, I really think that I could drink if drugs were not available. I really think I could have a glass of wine or have sit here and have a bourbon with you, maybe not this early in the morning. But what happens when I do that is I get a little over comfortable. I get to the point to where I'm real reckless with my words. I'm real selfish with my actions. I don't think about what the newspaper may say tomorrow if it escalates. So like, that's why I don't drink. Like, I stay away from it. Whether it's going to lead me back to, doing cocaine and heroin and meth and, any other drug you can name. I don't know if that's the case, but I do know if I do drink that it escalates so quickly that I just have to stay away from it.
One thing that I like about Matt and the people in my recovery circle is that, and Boss is like this too, but most people aren't. We're not judgy. Like, there's people that got sober, and we were just talking about a few people yesterday that drink. Some drink overdrink, some drink just enough, but they don't do drugs, right? For us, we're happy for them. That's great. Like, if we could have done that in our first 4 attempts, we probably
would be in the ship that we're in.
Yeah.
If we could have just drank.
And another thing for me, like, when I finally got sober, because there was a lot of attempts, it was a different era. There wasn't any HA, there wasn't any Noki Paw. It was actually around the time, to go back to the Chris episode, where he was making it cool to be fun. And once a month, I would do Sunday Fun Day at the Zeph Center to show people that you can have fun in recovery, and we play cards and we do all these activities.
It is a different level of fun, though.
Yeah, I'm
not doing this to have fun. I'm doing this so I could just get through socializing. Like social battery here, 2 shots of tequila, and I don't want to brag, but I'm pretty fun to be around.
Yeah.
Same.
And I'm pretty fun to be around if you get me to that place without alcohol, but I can't get to that place
Without it.
Well, I can. I just can't do it automatically. Or don't want to. But it kind of, when I was talking to this friend, they asked me the question. They said, does this make me/us addicts?
No.
There's a possibility. There's a real good line there. Like if you there's we have a book. It's called The Big Book. I don't. If you ever get time, just read it. There's all kinds of stories in there that would probably describe you to a T.
100%.
So when you start crossing that boundary, I know for a lot of people that I've worked with, it's an emotional thing. So even socialism can be
100%.
That's an emotional.
Yep.
So if you're using alcohol or any substance at all to overcome that emotion, just if it's temporary, you're on a fine line.
But where's the line between coping mechanism?
But what happens is you're successful in life. So it doesn't seem like the consequences are greater than the pleasure. When the consequences become greater than the pleasure, that's when we know it's a problem. But I'm in AA with a lot of guys that are very successful in life. I won't say his name, but one gentleman that I look up to since I've been in Toledo, he was a successful man. Never thought he had a problem. He knew that waking up in the morning needing to fucking drink bourbon was a problem, but until he choked on a piece of steak and he was so drunk that he didn't think to cough it out, that's when he knew that he had to do something different. And he went through the same treatment that we went through, and
a lot of them come here. A lot of OGs.
Oh yeah, a lot of people come here that had very successful people that figured out real quick that this may be a problem.
I think about 33% of your customers are in recovery.
100%.
Yeah.
We've talked about that too. You start substituting things, but it's where's the line between that? It's you kind of make the line.
Even Dr. who was one of the co-writers of the Big Book, what set him over the edge is he started adding, what kind of pills was it? Sleeping pills or something? He talks about it though, and like just alcohol alone, I feel like is a different thing. But once you add in the other substances is when you cross, for me, there was a line, and I remember it, where there was no return. And once, the crazy thing about when you cross the line is, for me, I will never go back to just drinking. Like he mentioned, there is people that have pulled it off, but at this point in my life, does the risk equal the reward? If I can drink normally and have one of those with you once a week, I would enjoy it, but I don't know that. And do I want to go back to prison? Like the risk is way higher than me trying to find out if I can do that with
me
you.
Trying to get heartburn at 9 a.m.
You know what I mean?
This is helping the heartburn. The heartburn comes from the thing that this is for.
So this is they call
which psychiatrists prescribe all sorts of medications for.
Yeah. If that helps, it helps.
So are me and my friend just better at hiding it?
I mean, you don't really hide it. It's not like it's your sneak. It's just socially acceptable.
Controlling it?
It's not like you can go to a bar and be like, oh, my favorite flavor of cocaine. If you go to a bar and ask for cocaine, everybody there is going to judge you. You can go there and get the strongest alcohol they make.
Yeah.
And nobody be like, what is he doing?
Yeah, I don't want this stepped on shit. Where's that Colombian Bam Bam?
They don't, it's just socially acceptable. And that's why we see a lot of people that come through our programs relapse so quickly. It's because, definitely alcoholics, is because it's so socially acceptable. You can be a severe alcoholic on rock bottom, walk into a bar and do your favorite drug of choice over and over and over, and nobody at the bar is like, oh.
They'll buy you one.
Yeah, they'll buy it for you. But you go in there and say, hey, can I get some fentanyl, heroin, and just a tad bit of meth to keep me going? You can't do that. So alcohol is probably one of the most severe cases that we work with.
You need a better dealer. How do we ask this one? So, I clearly and lots of people clearly use some substances as coping mechanisms. Do you think that as people in recovery, you are grateful that you've had to deal with these things and be a better person, whereas the rest of us are just still using coping mechanisms? Has it made you better because you're in recovery? Not just better sober versus not sober, a better person because you were forced to deal with social issues.
I tell people that a lot, like, I keep going back to the, AA and stuff, but like those 12 steps are designed to make you become a better person. Not just because you're sober or not sober. It's, you're actively making an amends when you do something wrong. At night you lay down, you think, did I harm anybody? Did I hurt anybody's feelings? Did I do anything I shouldn't have done? Do I owe a directed amends? Like, if, let's say you, for instance, let's say that, you write down a list of everything wrong that you've done, and you discuss it with somebody like, hey man, this is the things I've done wrong, little to the big, and you're like, I think I need to make amends for some of these things. Whether it was, just like Josh, he yelled at his mom, he owed a directed amends for that. If you made a list of all the people that you had harmed, and you became willing to make an amends to them, and at night you lay down every night, you're like, do I owe anybody an apology? After you've already made all those amends, it's you really start to, the guy that's in the right lane, knowing that it ends, so he speeds up and goes into the shoulder and tries to cut in front of everybody. Once you start doing those things, a lot of us, I'm not gonna say all of us, a lot of us will just let that guy over, because he's clearly in a bigger hurry than I am. Some of us still struggle with that. But it does help you become a better person.
The first time that I thoroughly worked the thoroughly part, I think, is important too, because it's easy to gloss over the steps and listen to your sponsor, but I carried my 4th step with me for 6 months in my pocket at all times, because there's so many.
The 4th step is, we made a list of people with harm.
Yeah, like a thorough personal moral inventory. But I would think of shit all the time, little stupid things, but if I didn't have it with me, I couldn't write it down. And so I took a long period, and as soon as I was done, I was like, if everybody in the whole wide world just tried the 12 steps, they would love it and it would be a better place. And the weird thing is, I found out my wife, my beautiful, loving wife, one of her family members was in Overeaters Anonymous, and I found a book, a 40-year-old book, and they worked the 12 steps. Gamblers worked the 12 steps. It's an amazing process. I've taken 2 people not in recovery through the steps, and they thoroughly enjoyed it. It's a weird ask, and they were at low points in their life, not because of drugs and alcohol, but it definitely changes you. And there's a line in there that says we'll inconstitutionally know how to handle situations that used to baffle us. And there was
intuitively.
Intuitively, thanks. There was a lot of situations that baffled the fuck out of me, and I didn't know how to handle them. But I was much more equipped with these tools once I did that. And I'll crash that motherfucker off the road trying to cut in front of everybody. Not for me, but the other people he's trying to cut off. It has nothing to do with my pride and ego, or it's about the guy in front of me, just to be clear.
Yeah. So we've talked before about how it was either get clean or die, essentially.
Yeah.
Right?
For sure.
Yeah. So do you think that being forced into it actually gave you an edge in understanding yourself more than somebody who's not in recovery?
I don't think I was really forced into it. I was incarcerated, which you would think that would be enough to force you into it, but I was getting high in there.
Okay, forget the precursor then. Do you think making the choice to go into a life of recovery and sobriety gave you an edge in your overall understanding of yourself?
For sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Like an advantage over somebody who's not in recovery.
We both went to prison.
I don't think that it's weird, because really we don't have an advantage. A lot of us are convicted felons. Our credit scores are shit.
Well, this is about understanding yourself. Like,
Oh yeah, I'm getting to that.
Yeah.
But like, whether we're understanding ourselves or not, we don't have an advantage at all because of all those things. Like no matter how good we do, we have to work harder than someone that is less qualified for anything. But I don't think if I hadn't have went through what I went through, that I would ever have gotten this version of myself.
Right.
So I don't know if this is like the version that was supposed to be, or was I supposed to be like a factory worker?
I don't know.
You know what I mean? So I don't even know how to really.
For me, it's weird. I just realized that we both prison played a impactful time in both of our lives. Prison is what got me to stay stopped, and I also used in prison. I was telling Matt the other day, there was a guy in opiates are really hard in prison because they're like, oh, you broke your arm, here's 2 ibuprofen, go lay down and shut up. But there was a guy that had HIV and was in hospice stages, and they were giving him Tylenol 3s, and I took 6 of them and put them in like this prison Kool-Aid drink, and I was lit. But I literally saw how the guy next to me looked at me, because I had been sober for, however long I was in there, and I got lit, and seeing, and this dude's name was L, and he's been to prison 100 times, but just seeing how he judged me, like, you fucking crackhead, like, that really changed my perspective on it, and it was the worst high I ever had, and I just sat there. I was on the top bunk, I got in my bunkie's lower bunk and started crying, and I was like, you know what, fuck this is ridiculous. I'm in fucking prison getting high, and I paid some crazy price, for these 6 Tylenol 3s, but like, that prison for sure is what changed my life. And I'm not questioning what happens now, but back then there was no court aversion, there was none of that stuff, and like a lot of people question going to prison. But for me, if I wouldn't have went to prison, I know beyond a shadow of a doubt I wouldn't have stopped. When Judge Zamunda said, I remove your right, and I don't know if he says this to everybody or if I was special, he said, I revoke your right to be in society. That hit me like a ton of, like, I'm such a piece of shit. I'm not even allowed to be around the common folk, right?
The good people.
That shit fucked me up. And in the structure of it, and then from that day that was when I made that decision. And from that day, I did I read the big book. I did all the things that I should have done so that when I came home, I was a little bit more prepared than, if I was trying to become the next, El Chapo in there.
How about a little bit more of a lighter question? I know the answer to this is yes. Have you experienced people in recovery that aren't addicts? Just me, who wants to not drink anymore?
Yeah, for sure.
You think there are a lot of people in there who don't have the problems that you guys experienced that made you have to be sober?
Why would you want to stop?
Anthony A. Las Gonzalez, Allure Barbershop, Beast Brand, go check them out. That's somebody that stopped drinking for a year. My partner that we've bleeped out, I got him to stop drinking for 60 days. I can name you about 10 real estate guys that gave it up for a period of time just so...
Why would you want to stop?
I don't know. I'm saying if you get to a point where you're just like, I just don't want to drink anymore, it's not affecting me.
Just stop. If you're not an addict.
Yeah, but do you think there are people in the program who are abusing it for a help network to stop drinking who don't need it?
There's a few of those, but yeah.
Yeah, maybe it's even just court appointed. Like, do the judges get it wrong? Like, you got a DUI.
Oh yeah.
You're going to AA.
Oh yeah.
Well, they send the dope boys to AA because that big bag of cocaine was for personal use. That's a huge.
Well, just think
problem.
about it. Like, if you're getting DUIs, we'll say your second one. If you didn't, you got your first DUI, you had a couple too many to drink, no big deal. You're not an alcoholic. You just wrong place at the wrong time. If you don't have a problem with it, you knew that if you get behind that wheel again, that the risk is pretty great that you're going to get a DUI. Why would you do it?
I don't know.
The consequences.
I don't get in the car, period.
I'm just saying, so a lot of people that, get a DUI, they have to go to those, they're called DIP. I don't know what the stands
Driver intervention program.
Driver intervention program. But the second one, you're going to treatment. You clearly have a problem. So if, the first one, the DIP program doesn't work, the judge is saying...
Yeah, but the level that you can get a DUI for is silly. Like right now, if I had to blow, I'm probably blowing .08. And I'm getting a DUI.
For one?
I mean, it's just such a silly standard.
Yeah, it is.
Like,
it is.
I'm going out publicly and I need one of these to get through the night. I don't have a addiction problem, and I'm driving home from a mixer and I blow .08, and then I do it a second time. .08, I am not impaired.
Yeah. Well, and they don't.
So.
Well, they don't know you drink at 9 a.m. If you tell them to watch our podcast, they'll be like, "Look, bro, I drink this like coffee."
Mom, I don't do that.
I don't drink. This is apple juice.
How do you factor in tolerance? Like, there's people that fucking drink so much that you're right. I never thought about that.
But what you're saying, we do have a lot of people that just come court ordered. It's usually a different level, like they do like an IOP or even a virtual IOP.
I was just trying to respond to your, like, if you do it a second time, clearly you have a problem statement. I was just trying to respond to .08 2 times in a row is not.
If I don't have a problem with it, I'm never willing to risk it again. I'm never willing to risk a $10,000 fine or whatever DUI fines are.
Not me either.
So I'm getting an Uber no matter what. If I know I'm going to a mixer, I'm scheduling a ride. Like,
yeah, you guys want to do something real good in this town? I mean, not that you don't already do real good. Somebody fucking started a campaign to get the Uber drivers back. Before COVID, I could get an Uber anywhere in this town. Since COVID, all they do is deliver food. I can't get an Uber to save my life. I was taking Ubers 3 times a week.
Medicaid put them out of business.
I was taking Ubers 3 times a week, man. It was like, and not because I was smashed, but because I don't like to get in the car. The rule: one drink an hour, or don't get in the car.
Yeah.
If you have more than 1 drink an hour, I don't get in the car.
That's smart.
So they're not remember when I tried to get the Uber? Now that makes sense.
You were in the middle of nowhere.
I live in Sylvania Township between Toledo, Sylvania, like.
Yeah, no.
I didn't know that was a problem.
It's a problem.
We can definitely make some improvements there for sure. I wonder if the pay or something got worse, or they're just all doing Uber Eats.
I don't think they want to talk to people anymore. I just think they want to deliver food. It's probably the same money. And then none of them.
They don't have to worry about getting robbed. They don't have to worry about nothing.
Yeah,
that's probably what happened. They probably getting robbed.
But it
Toledo.
was such a fine line. Like, COVID happened, nobody drove because COVID. But then afterwards, nobody came back.
They're all doing OnlyFans.
Well, maybe. But everyone's doing OnlyFans in Miami. I can get an Uber like that.
That's true. It's a fact. It's probably the safety.
Anywhere.
It's probably the safety of the driver. Their safety was probably, in trouble.
I do think there's, to go after that question though, I do think there's a lot of people too that love the recovery community that don't necessarily, maybe they don't need it, but like they come for attention because you're gonna get attention coming to a meeting if you want it.
You get to be anybody you want to be.
Yeah.
This is one of the only diseases that's self-diagnosed. You have to diagnose yourself. You can't have
Really? I mean, the DSM-4 or 5 or 6, whatever the fuck number we're on now, clearly lays out parameters for alcoholism.
We have to be the one to say, I'm an alcoholic, though. You can't go into AA and somebody be like, yeah, you're an alcoholic. You checked off these boxes. You have to be
psychiatrist. I mean, this is the
but you can't walk in
for.
But you have to admit that you're an alcoholic.
That's a requirement to go to.
Like, you have to say you're an alcoholic.
Well, that's a requirement for the medium, but not a diagnosis.
I feel like if
statistical,
if I checked off all these boxes of you,
manual,
the definition, an addict is an alcoholic. You're addicted. You would probably check off most of those boxes.
I 100%. Listen, I got my degrees in psychology. I went at the time version 4.
But you would walk into an AA.
I go through and mark off 6 diagnostic criterias for 6 different conditions.
But you wouldn't walk into a room and say, I'm an alcoholic. My name's Chris.
I wouldn't.
See, we have to diagnose.
This is the first drink I've had in a week and a half.
We have to diagnose ourselves. You know, we have to, say that we're an alcoholic.
I don't search for this anymore, but I found marijuana, so.
Nice.
That's a natural coping. It's just they make it so strong anymore.
It makes me go to sleep. My drinking was mostly for sleeping or social settings.
Just not been out socializing much. Summertime's coming.
Hey, somebody asked what
Almost drink on the
what
golf
happened
course.
to the cook. I'm not on social media, so maybe they started back up. But I don't think you realize how impactful your cooking videos were, dude. Random fucking people that know that do this and have a relationship will bring me like, dude, what's going on?
Well, you know what? You want more cooking videos? Like and share, motherfuckers. Like when I spend 7 hours on a Sunday cooking from scratch fucking ravioli and bolognese, and I get 200 likes, fuck you guys, share that shit. I don't want to do it for 200 likes.
A vice president of a bank called me and was like,
Corey doesn't get it.
I know another one.
Oh, yeah.
And was like, can you see what's going on with him? Is he sick? Or I'm like,
trying to learn how to cook, trying to make ravioli.
I'll ask them, but that makes sense. You want more support and more views? All right.
That's a wild, and this is not even on topic, but I can't, some of my dumbest videos have the most likes, and nobody, and I'm guilty of this, I don't know who the fuck's out there hitting share. I've never hit share. Almost ever.
I do. I share. That's important to
It's
do.
super important, and for a friend, I'm like, okay, I'll share this for them, but my videos that you guys have all seen.
If you share other people's stuff, they'll share your stuff.
Yeah, maybe
you want to really get some likes? Do something wrong. Like when you're cooking.
I hate that. It fucks with my psyche so bad. I'm going to screw this up.
Yeah, when you're cooking.
I'm not going to screw that up. I'm German.
Take a jar of Alfredo sauce and just pour it in and watch how much clicks you get then.
I know.
So one time,
I watch all those stupid videos too.
One of the most views I ever got on TikTok was, probably the most illiterate thing I'd ever done. But I didn't realize how much controversy causes clicks. So, when they stormed the White House or the Capitol building, I put on TikTok, you burn down your cities, we take over the White House. Bro, when I tell you, the world came after me.
I'm lucky. You're lucky you're alive.
You retard. that was the Capitol, you illiterate, inbred piece of shit.
We're not allowed to say retard anymore.
Oh, yeah, bleep retard.
No, you got to use the correct, appropriate terminology. Liberal.
Okay, you liberal piece of shit. No, they called me everything but a liberal. I promise you.
That joke.
Yeah, they call you everything but a liberal. So I ended up getting, I don't remember how many thousands of views I got on this post just because I said something wrong. And then there was a golf outing that these guys had cheated on a scramble and they shot a 46 or something like that. Okay, so I got on Facebook and or TikTok and stitched the video and said it was me, my buddy Nate, Corey, and Pat. The world came after me again. And you could clearly see that it wasn't our names on the board.
Right.
But it was just funny.
Yeah.
I got over 1 million views. I don't remember how many thousands of comments. You Rosie O'Donnell fat ass. The only thing you shot a 46 at was at the donut factory, you fat ass. I'm talking, they went to Corey's page.
And started commenting
on it. You didn't get a hole in one on a par 4, you piece of shit. You're lying. Oh yeah, that swing shot a 46? Not a chance. But controversy.
Yeah.
You want clicks? Make it controversial.
Yeah.
So it kind of sounds like after our talk today, we're getting close on time. It kind of sounds like recovery just forces you to deal with the things most people spend their whole lives avoiding.
Life on life terms is the.
But recovery looks different for a lot of people. There's a lot of people that don't get to live the life that we've gotten to live because of recovery. But there's a whole lot of people that'll never get the chance to try. We have chosen, a much better life because we decided to get sober. For me, God definitely blessed me with a life beyond my imagination. But there's a lot of people that, I'm going to use you for example. Let's say you do have a problem or somebody of your stature has a problem. They have a great life already, but they go home and kind of just wash the sorrows down at night. Like, man, like I want that joy and freedom, but you got everything in the world around you. But yeah, my life is beyond my wildest dreams that I could have ever imagined.
It's tough to watch. There's a lot of people. So for me, getting past the 4-step was always the problem, because the 4-step is the action step. Like I said, I carried it around for 6 months. It's written out. It's hard to look at your whole life of, you know, all the things that you potentially did wrong and others that you harmed, and really like focus in and try to think of every little thing. I mean, sexual misconduct, it goes over all of it, right? So many people, and myself included, will 1, 2, 3, relapse. 1, 2, 3, relapse. And people used to tell my sponsor, Las Vegas, love you. He would get physical with me at times, and so I was an idiot. I was, you know,
grab you up. He's the guy, kind of guy that would grab you up too.
Yeah, he would snatch me up after my grandma had died for the 4th time, and he's the one that got me to do it. But there's so many people that just, they come in and they know they have a problem. They'll go to the meetings. We have people leave every day, and we just had I won't say that, but like if they would just do the steps, that's where the real answer is. The putting down the drugs or alcohol portion of it, it doesn't really mean anything. The steps for me is where the change happened, and it completely changed me. And I go back to it. I was talking to another person in recovery last night that also works in our field till like 11 because he's going through it. And he's like, you know what? I'm gonna go back to the basics, and I'm gonna put some steps on this shit. And like, you know, we forget to do it. A 10th step that Matt was talking about is something that, like, it's my favorite step to make me look at my day. It's important for me, and I try to do it even if after I did domestic violence my mom. But the steps change you, and you can go back. You're supposed to practice them every single day, but like, you know, you forget certain things, your pride and ego come back, but you can re-go through them and you can do a 4-step right now. And that's what this guy I didn't tell him to do that, but I was kind of guiding it in that way. And he's like, you know what? I think I'm going to do it. And I bet his life gets better because of it. Like,
I know a guy that used the 12 steps to quit smoking cigarettes. He had already used the 12 steps to quit drinking, 20 years ago. He's dead now, but he wanted to quit smoking cigarettes, and he'd smoked forever, and he'd done 12 steps on it.
So is recovery an advantage, or just a different path to the same place?
I feel it's an advantage.
I feel like it's an advantage because, our job as humans is to be of maximum service to others. And I feel like we really get an advantage on how to be of maximum service to others when you're in recovery.
Hey, this dude is the best. And like, for me, some of the things that I learned from him, I was like 10 years ago, but I got jaded, and because a certain part of me, altruistic means to give out for me, it means to give without thought of return, right? But there was always that piece of me when I would do something, when I needed it back from you and you didn't give it to me, I would be upset. But this dude he'll be driving in from Gibsonburg, see somebody walking every day, and by the 3rd fucking day, he'll be like, hey, what's going on? He'll go buy him a bike, and he just still has that. I love it, and it's re-inspiring it in me, where it's so easy to just go point A to B and do what you're doing, and yeah, I'll throw the dude $5, but that's really not helping that guy. He's just going to get more alcohol. He's really good and has really good ideas around helping people, and that bike changes that person's life because you just sped up their path to work by an hour, there and back, and now they have an hour to do something else. So putting yourself, that old adage of, your parents used to tell you you're hanging out with the wrong crowd. Well, they told me that, and I didn't want to hear it, but the people that you put around yourselves, for me, have a huge impact. And all of you, everybody in this room is very important to my network. But for me, it's an advantage. And until I got into recovery, I mean, I couldn't tell you, and I don't tell war stories like Chris, but like I was the biggest. Dude, you wouldn't even have. You would have ran from me. You would have been scared.
That sounds like a fun hand.
I don't know.
Look at that, on the buzzer.
On the buzzer. All right, thank you guys for tuning in. Just another day with the boys here at the Altruistic Trudge. Have a good day.